It is I, the Alpha and Omega of RPGs, the greater divinity of gaming, your main man. And today I'm a challenge to a video response by a septic tank indigent, goes by the name Disavow. And Disavow, you want to tell the people I'm a work, I'm a gimmick, that I'm a stick. The only stick that's gonna happen, brother, is this and your face. That's right. But maybe kayfabe. And so for all seriousness, we got some kind of tag video going around, and YouTube has been nice enough for some time to have essentially eviscerated and gutted the RPG community here. You can't really tell what's going on unless you want to subscribe to 17,000 different channels and try to watch billions of videos. It's very difficult to follow with the very simple video response tool we used to have. You could just bang, bang, boom, and loop everything around. We had wonderful video responses that used to go around and so forth, and now it's convoluted and difficult to keep at any degree, a decorum, any kind of line and understanding of these RPG videos and who's doing what. It's a weird thing. Of course, I know Disavow for a year now, and he'd be talking to me on YouTube, or excuse me, on Facebook, of course. And you guys got to clarify to me, because I had two different people in there. I was like, okay, I know this guy and this guy, but they're the same guy, so I guess I know one less guy. Who would have thought? Some of that delicious water. And we're going to tackle completely blind this RPG video tag. Somebody else started it. It wasn't him. I did not invest the time and energy being slothful to figure out whoever did it. But cheers to you. How about that? And I will pull him up. All right, here. So, this is going to be 15 questions, and I'm coming straight blind with them outside of having watched his video, which was a good video, and you might want to check that out as well. Maybe I'll put a link to it, but I tend to forget doing stuff like that if I'm quite honest. Again, sloth. So, let's go with, what was the first system you played? Okay, I have a bit of a different deal there for systems. I played a system that could really only be described as a homebrew kind of a deal, an original system. 10 years old. There's a video somewhere early in the chronicles of your main man talking about exactly what that whole deal was. But this guy basically came in when I was in 5th grade, 10 years old, Damien Mojica, I think that's how you say his last name. And we become buddies for a little while before I went to a different school. Or maybe he went to a different school first. Anyway, you don't care about that. What you care about is he had all these characters. He'd written up a whole bunch of them, and they were like strange characters, like a Doulahan. I think that's how you say it. I think it's Scottish, like the creature from Washington Irving's American sketchbook story, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman. Doulahan, I think that's how you say that. It was like one of those, and just a bunch of stuff. I didn't play the first time they did it because fucking, we were like, we got like a time where we could play games in class at the end of class. I went to Catholic school, yeah, so you can see how that turns out. And we were at school longer. I think we were at school for like an hour longer than typical kids. And this one nun gave us like an hour. It might not have even been every day. I think it might have been like once a week. We'd have like an hour at the end of class to just like play some games. You play backgammon or whatever. And the first day, and I was like the backgammon champion. Like I literally, in fact, I saw the yearbook and everything. I won a 32 person round robin tournament. I won, and that was like I said. I mean, they put it in the yearbook. I beat this kid is Indian, Anand Patel. I still remember him. He's a good dude, and I played backgammon. Of course, that was my game. I played backgammon the first day, and because he was talking about this game or whatever, and I didn't even understand what he was talking about, and I kind of saw him playing, and he got a bunch of people to play, and I'm like, So I went over there and I was like, oh, what's this deal? And he was like, well, he explained a little bit to me. He said, well, we got like 3 characters left, and one of them was a lizard man, and that is what I chose, a lizard man with this crazy sword, and it was pretty awesome, and I do well intend to play a lizard man again, come back one day with that. The System was, I guess what had happened is he had seen someone playing some kind of Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe had played some, but you know, he would have been like 10, I guess, maybe 11 at the time, probably 11, and he'd seen me try to like replicate it, like very, very, very poorly. We just used like some 6-sided dice, and it was essentially a completely different system in all ways in Dungeons and Dragons because it was so rudimentary, so basic. But he went for like a lot of like kind of bizarre things, you know. Like I said, I mean, there was a Dullahan. It was like one of the characters, and I don't know, maybe there was a human or something. I don't know, but he had made the characters, and there were those two and something else. I don't remember what the other one was, but it was interesting, and you didn't. One of the things that really stood out, you didn't have a rest mechanic at all. You just took damage and that was it. And then you gained the hit points that you took from other things. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really make any sense. And my first ever endeavor into game design was suggesting to him, I said, you know, that doesn't make sense. 10 years old, I'm like, all right, wait, brother, this doesn't make sense. How about we do it this way? And, you know, of course, I played the original Gauntlet. Good warrior needs food. Good warrior is about to die. That was my joint. That happened a lot because I wasn't very good at Gauntlet, but I still liked playing it. And so I said to him, I said, look, why don't we just do like eating food, you know, which is, of course, without knowing it, it's basically like resting. You know, you're sitting down, you're not like grabbing food and eating it in the middle of combat or something. Like, give me that turkey there. Oh, God, I choked to death. You know, probably not the best time to fight. You know, so it was basically like a rest mechanic. And I said, well, that makes sense, you know. And I'd seen that in Gauntlet, and I said, well, let's integrate that and make that, you know, how you get, instead of like just getting them from killing stuff. It makes no sense at all. And he was like, yeah. So they were my first foray into to game design. I always like to tinker with systems. I was never really pleased with the system creation of anyone else. I mean, including, you know, the designers or whatever of whatever games I played. Really, even the first time, sometimes running or playing in something, I start screwing with it, tinkering with it. So that was the first system, which wasn't a system at all. And then when I was in 9th grade, so that would be like 4 years. Yeah, 4 years later, is the first time. This guy named Paul, who was in the school. I don't remember his last name. He was running AD&D 2nd edition, and I had AD&D 2nd edition. I bought them in 7th grade. I bought AD&D 1st edition, Monster Manual 2, the first book I had off of a friend of mine, Paul Rodriguez, in class. And then I bought the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master Guide. I think they just came out for 2nd edition. It had Walden Books, which I don't think exist anymore. And I still remember the whole experience. So I picked those books up and I looked through everything there. And that was when I played AD&D. He invited me to his house. We played AD&D. So that was the first actual real system, I suppose. I played AD&D 2nd edition. And that was like when it had first come out. And then I retrograded back to, I played Basic and I played 1st edition quite a bit in that period of time. And of course, that basic system that I've been given by that Damien guy, I kept messing with and screwing with it. Made it a lot better. You know, I mean, I don't think we'd want to play it today, I'm going to be honest. But I made it better, and I played that like tons of my friends. And that's really I fell in love with role-playing games. I mean, we would play out at like every recess. You know, Damien and I would have sleepovers at each other's houses all the time. And we'd rope loads of other people in. And they'd start playing. And they'd either, you know, I don't like this, or they'd get really hooked to it. I mean, we were really hooked. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still gaming today. Somewhere out there in YouTube land, Damien, if you see this video, baby, hit up your main man. So my first character right there, I told you already, answer number 2, first character, was a lizard man that someone else made, basically. Favorite system, early, Within the Ring of Fire, powered by the Air Engine. Embrace the RPG revolution. Get Within the Ring of Fire today, directly from your main man PDF bundle, $75, or hit up drivethrurpg.com and get your physical copies. First 5 books out now. Within the Ring of Fire is my favorite system. getting to play it as a player with, you know, these wonderful flame tenders has been absolutely amazing. Seeing my vision come to life in other people's eyes, and seeing, you know, the way they might reinterpret things, the way they might change something, or the way that they produce it, just pretty much dead on to the way that I was envisioning things, is just unbelievably cool. It's amazing, and the rule set to me works vastly better than any other. I mean, it just flows, and it lets you hit that cinematic, lets you hit that collective narrative, that collaborative, and it lets you have role playing at a deeper level at every point. And I would definitely put that out against any other game that purports to do the same, and leave them smoldering and their remains flaming in the face of Morgul. Sorry about that. Is this pollination, baby? What's all this about, if you will, or even if you won't? I do hate spring. All right, so that's my favorite system, bar none, hands down, and I've gotten to play quite a few sessions of it now, which is really helpful for me in terms of developing additional content. And those have probably been the most fun and amongst the most fun games that I've ever played. It's just been amazing, you know. So, and you can check almost all those out. You know, you can check them out on Lou's channel and George's channel and on Matt Pritchard's channel. You can really find a load of Within the Ring of Fire live plays, and you can watch them and you can see yourself. Damn, that's some good ass playing right there. So the next one, number 4, is favorite character you have played, PC for a player or NPC for a GM. I don't know. That's a hard one to say. I really liked pretty much every character I've ever made, because I build characters with a lot of depth in them, even early on. So, you know, I don't know. There have been lots of game masters I didn't like, lots of games I didn't like, lots of things that fell short or were just, boy. But, you know, the flip side can be true. If you don't invest much in a character, and you're like 3 months in, you're like, oh boy, I'm not having fun on this character. So I always do. I always put a lot in a character right off the bat. I mean, I'm a guy who'll spend an hour making a character's name, literally, sometimes more. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I got so many of them, you know. Big Tide Humongous, perhaps, or perhaps every character I played for Within the Ring of Fire. Those have been very, very entertaining, and I have one that might even be more fun for me. Perhaps Rivishar. A lot of people enjoy Rivishar. That was a lot of fun. Rob Davis did an excellent job with that campaign, which I'm still trying to get you to run, Rob, you piece of trash, fucking Canadian. But no, I love Rob, and you can watch that game on my channel too. The AD&D Let's Play, Weldath, absolutely excellent. And Rob did a great job, as did Alex and the other players. So let's see. That one was hard for me to answer, and I don't think I have. As an NPC for a GM, it's any sort of god or devil or thing like that. Like, I love playing, like in front rounds, I love playing Cyric. What about the Within the Ring of Fire versus Ravenloft? You can see it. We did a module, 4 sessions. You can see that. Mordu was I really can't have much more fun than having played Mordu. That's right. You know that Mordu is. But if you haven't seen that, you gotta watch that. Just for the Mordu alone, if not for the Geordie, if not for the, you know, how a bear gonna buy weapons, how a bear gonna sell me 2 swords. Really a lot of that was really a lot of fun, and some absolute excellent playing by the players. So you can watch it on my channel. It's just four episodes. You gotta watch. You'll see the entire game. You'll see an entire module run from Ravenloft with all the rules of Within the Ring of Fire and all the characters from Within the Ring of Fire for Kavega Thale setting. Least favorite character you have played? Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have one. There were games that sucked ass, you know, so this question isn't really worded for me. Or NPC, I don't know. maybe like when I was really like a teenager or something, and maybe an NPC that didn't have enough depth put into it or something. You know, I mean, those were less fun. I mean, now, you know, trying to run like a cleric. How about this? I can tell you, trying to run like a cleric as an NPC just with the party when you're running like fucking 9 actual physical people and you're trying to run a setting like say Ravenloft or something. That was just that was a drain. So any NPC that's just there to perform a function, and I don't do that anymore at all. Like for like 2 decades. No, you don't want to do that. All right, bro. It's all good now because I'm not gonna hamper or tax myself. And I would suggest as game master you don't either. What do they happen? They die, or maybe one of them will be smart and play something that's helpful to them next time, you know, or whatever. For me, I never been for the standard roles anyway. I think you could, because I never saw it with players like that. The idea of that I never really contemplated that idea until I started on the YouTube channel. You know, the standard player formation. That was never in my world. You know, it was either everybody was playing some type of fighter, or like literally like 9 players. I'm a fighter. I'm a paladin. I'm a ranger. I'm a barbarian. I'm also a fighter over here. You know, and you might get a thief in there somewhere, or it was like everybody was a thief. You know, or occasionally there was a wizard. But back in that day, man, very few people would play that cleric, which is odd to me because, you know, I mean, it's not because it's a weak class or anything, but they didn't like to do it. And I loved to play the cleric in 1880, especially priest. I loved it. So that was really what I was down for. Which of course, in a game does make you, you know, additional. It gives you an additional level of popularity. Oh, this guy to play a druid or a cleric. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Favorite world, Covega Thale, the world of Within the Ring of Fire. You jump in there, you'll love it too. It'll smoke the ass out of your Eberron. How about that? Disavow. Yeah, so definitely favorite world. It's seamless, and when I look at other RPG worlds, I just see them like a Frankenstein monster of seams. None more so than Forgotten Realms, which we're very familiar with, and that's something I absolutely hate about it. But it has some things I like about it. When I run Forgotten Realms, I know it well, so I keep like, you know, this is what the city looks like. I can run that. I could run, you know, like Baldur's Gate, for example. I can run that off memory flawlessly forever. I know everything there, and a lot of areas around that as well. Quite a few places around Front Rows, really. Thay, Mulhorandi, the Dales, Tethir, just really a lot of places in Forgotten Realms. But you know, I could pull out, because I can pull out so many ways. I'm like, oh god, this doesn't make sense, you know. And really, it's just a bad mix mash of confusedly put together Earth, and also the Dale lands, which I can't quite figure out what they're supposed to be yet. Now, my favorite dice, the D7. So in actuality, I guess we're going to go with the, though you can, I think they actually have physical D7s out there for the typical polyhedrals. I'm going to go with the D8, the die that we power the Within the Ring of Fire engine with. It is it's a good die. I also like D10s, you know, from the experience with World of Darkness. Though system-wise, I don't like their system. I think it's just horrible. So fantasy favorite world. Miniatures are theater than mine. I mean, let's be real on that one. It's gonna be miniatures all day, baby. I get them miniatures. I go around that dungeon like, ha 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 ha. I'm a miniature. What's really hood now, baby? And another miniature like, I'm the miniature of a lich. I'm all drunk and I'll make out with you because I'm a lich. And then you're like, no, you're not gonna make out with me, a lich. And you slice his head off and he falls down to dust and death and dead. And I look around at the castle walls. I mean, I really look down at them, you know, because we're basically playing with things that are equivalent of incredibly poorly made, overly expensive Legos. Because that's what they should do, is build Legos instead of the horrible trash they put together. Just here's our shitty knockoff Legos. Go ahead and, you know, you can build your whole little setup here. I detest miniatures. In fact, I would go so far as to say miniatures are not part of role-playing games. I mean, they might be part of ROLL games, you know. They're something that's akin to a BattleTech or one of those Warhammer tabletop games. And I have no interest in those, like zero. I don't like them. I'm not interested in them. I will not play them. I played one once. That was the least fun I've ever had. Where I thought I was going to get the role play. BattleTech. I figured out how you win that game is marching your mini right at the other guys. We could shoot you and you could die and you can go play Nintendo's Pro Wrestling. That's how I won. Well, they had to sit there and play for hours after that. I was like, ha ha, I'm out of the game. I've beaten all of you. So yeah, I hate miniatures. If you're playing with minis, if you go, oh, because you're playing out here, you're not engaging this. And if you're doing that, you really have never engaged this. If you think this is good compared to this, you don't know what this is. You don't know what their mind is. You don't. And you just straight up need to step up your game. Boom. How about that? Worst critical glitch or failure in a game. My man Moth, he used to, I remember one time he had the cursed die of Tim Healy, and he rolled one time in 5 rolls. He rolled 4 ones in 5, and I think his other roll was like a 3. And I remember he was just throwing his weapons left and right. I saw one guy. I've seen people kill themselves by rolling, because I used to use a critical hit table when I ran Dungeons and Dragons, and I saw someone kill themselves, a crossbow bolt right through the eye when they had like a major backfire with their own joint, and they got tripped up and fell on it and right in the face, dead. That's pretty bad, wasn't it? I can't remember. I mean, if I really thought about this, because I just came right off the cuff with this, but if I really thought about it, I probably have one where I was really, really comical, or, you know, it really busted me up. But nothing's coming right to the mind. But again, I typically was a guy running the game, so it was other people's horrible failures that I was able to witness. Oh, well, it's not quite a critical glitch. I know exactly what it is. I turn my hands inward. When the Gullidorf wizard tried to kill himself with his own magic missile, not realizing that you can't kill yourself with magic missile at level 1 or 2, and he knocked himself out. We made him sit there for like, I don't know, it seems like 3 hours. It probably wasn't anywhere near that long. He sat there unconscious, unable to kill himself with a magic missile. It's just concussive damage. You're not, getting opened up or bleeding. You're gonna have a huge welt there. And I think he only knocked himself down to like -1 or something like that, maybe a -2 at the best. But I remember that very well. And I've done a video on I Turn My Hands Inward RPG horror stories. You can look that one up on YouTube in your search bar. So, not being able to kill yourself in a game, I think that would probably be the worst I've seen, and the funniest at least. Best/favorite critical success in game. Well, just the other day, I posted a picture of it with a screen share shot. I rolled, I think it was like a 52. That's adding in all my bonuses on 2 8-sideds. And with the Ring of Fire system, you take, whenever you roll an 8, unless you rolled an 8 and a 1 at the same time, then that suppresses. Otherwise, if you roll an 8, it explodes and you keep rolling it. I rolled a 7 and an 8, and then I rolled off that 1 8. The 7, that didn't explode, just the 8. Then off that 8, I rolled 3 more 8s, and it was on a gimmick, on the dice screen gimmick. So there's no disputing it. It just pops up right at the top of your joint. It's like 7 8. I'm like, oh, that's great. Boom, another one. 8. I'm like, oh, 8. Oh, 8. Oh. Then I rolled a 7. So it was 2 7s in between 4 8s off 4 additional rolls off 1 8. And that was one hell of a fucking roll right there. But yeah, to go into, gosh, I've just seen so many. I played Vampire the Masquerade, and we were playing humans, we were playing hunters, and my character was a televangelist, and all the other players were kind of like rednecks, so they all thought my character had like some ball, and he was like a famous one, like had like 4 dots of fame. And like like a Robert Tilton or Jimmy Stewart, or I don't know who the fuck these guys are, whatever. They thought my character had faith. They were selling that. And they were doing all these things. And I had like a 6 humanity. I was like this depraved piece of shit, stealing all the money, and a televangelist. And we'd have like these cutscenes where my character was like fucking girls and stuff. And then this vampire came at me, but the vampire knew I wasn't. He was selling for me too, and that shit was fucking outstanding. Like he was like, and then like he saw me. He was like about to feed on me right at the joint, and he like looked at me and he was like stunned far around. He was like, and he got scared because he's like, oh no, this guy is the true gimmick. So the game master, he sold the deal. Now you know you got to sell, and when you sell, you make shit work, and you should always sell. And they were selling for the deal. I picked up a lamp, and I hit him with the lamp, and he had a deal where you always re-roll 10s on everything. And I killed a vampire in one hit with a lamp. I killed a vampire in one hit with a lamp. But because I just the 10s rain. My 20-siders don't roll worth shit. Like when I get like a 15, I'm like, critical hit, it's a 15. They're like, it goes up to 20. I'm like, no, not my die. I've never seen anything above this 15. I've only seen that one 3 times before. I'm pretty sure that's a crit. This is a 15-sided die. So that being said, definitely just dropping it on a nugget with that lantern, baby, with that lamp, if you will, killing a vampire with it. I did an extraordinary amount of damage, and the game master's eyes were like, God damn. And it was on 2 dice. I mean, them 10s rain. My 10-siders, how it was before. My 10-siders are hot, particularly my dice. I've noticed they like when I do cool shit. Like if I did something bitch ass, like I attack the law, it's sort of like, oh fuck you, you know. Or if I like do some elaborate cool shit, they're like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna do some cool shit. My dice in there, they're like intelligent items with my sensibilities. They're like, fuck you and your scimitar, you know. So let's see, where were we? I'm having a little bit too much fun with this, I think. Favorite class / type of character to play. So that, I mean, it just basically means class. Favorite class or type of character. And really anything that I can pro wrestle somebody on. If I could pick you up and body slam you off the ramparts, I'm very happy. If I could pick you up and slam you in a hole, or throw you in a volcano, or hit a doctor driver on you, or come off the top rope in some form or fashion, I'm gonna wrestle your ass. Best believe it. Think a hill giant don't get body slammed? Oh yes, he will. But then you sell after, oh god, you sell, and you just like, oh, the compression of the spine, and you're down and you're selling, looking up, they're like, dude, you don't have to do that. Fuck that. I just slammed a hill giant. I'm out of this combat. You know. You could just have some great stuff, which has been the source of many nights of entertainment for me as both a game master and a player. I will wrestle you. I will definitely wrestle you if I get the chance. So my favorite character is going to be anything that can do that. And if you have a class, what better class, baby? I think you know we're going to the barbarian. So, and I'm not talking about the barbarian and the warlord. I'm not talking about powers of pain. I'm not talking about faces of fear with Ming, baby. That man, we are not talking about that man from Samoa. We are definitely going to talk about the barbarian class, Conan style, or perhaps Hulk Hogan style, if you will, Ultimate Warrior. You will slam a man, you will gorilla press a man, you will clothesline a man. You could have just wild, crazy, fun antics with chaotic aspects. So, least favorite class or type to play. In D&D, I hate bards because I don't. It would take a while to explain. I think I've done that in a video, but I really, really don't like bards, or gnomes, or halflings, or anything that's fucking ridiculously short. I don't like that stuff. But yeah, I really don't like bards, which is odd because the character I've actually played the most was a bard, basically, you know, a dream speaker bard. So it's not conceptually. I don't know. There's something in the fantasy world. I don't know. There's something hokey about D&D bards to me. Let me put it that way. First character I ever played in D&D was a bard, though. AD&D second edition. The second edition bard, I've never played, or I don't even know if I've ever seen anyone play a first edition bard. I've never played one. But that being the case, I have played a second edition bard at least that time, and I think I played one again too. I thought they were, I don't know, the third edition joint. I don't know. It just comes off hokey to me. Yeah. And then you give them healing spells for no reason. It's like, oh, and we need to give them something else. So there's healing spells. Wait a minute, time out. I'm a wizard, right? And that's what a bard is kind of, sort of, at least used to supposed to be. But now he's a sorcerer that has healing magic. Thematically, they changed him in a way I didn't like. They just screamed, we're a Frankenstein monster class of foolishness that was created by game designers, and we tried to balance them out. And there's no story fluidity or continuity here. All that kind of stuff I loathe. I don't like you changing things and toying around with them to do that when you begin to grotesquely transmogrify them in their base qualities, and when those base qualities literally affect the entire aspect of the world. You know, I mean, that's a major thing. But why would, I mean, a wizard, like, even a sorcerer, it's like, well, why the fuck can you do healing magic? I'm a bard! You're like, okay. Well, can we get into the explanation? That's all there is! It's for game balance, buddy! I mean, that kind of stuff, it was just lazy and shitty and it's very corporate, and I hate that corporate culture that a lot of larger games like, Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, or even a lot into the newer World of Darkness stuff. Not as bad, but it's still there. That corporate culture of just appeasing foolishness and being lazy, that kind of stuff. It just, I can't play corporate games anymore. I'm sorry. And I see really what's there and what's behind them. I really have no interest in those games at all anymore. Like, just a zero. You know, focus on role playing. You know, make it fucking beautiful, make it wonderful, make it magic. That's the kind of games I'm into. Not games by their very nature are trying to limit limit your believability, and you got to believe. If you don't, man, there's not much there. Least favorite, so yeah, that'd be my least favorite class. But my least favorite type of character, I don't know if I have one, man. I love, like I said, I mean, the bard itself, essentially, I played the hell out of it. You know, that's a bard's a rock star. And I'll play the fuck out of that type of character. I mean, not now necessarily, because I've played it enough. You know, I don't have that many character type gimmicks that are put on my shelf, but that one I'll put on the shelf. You know, because I've done it enough. You know, it's finished. Others, character types. I mean, there's not really any I don't like, man. I like to play a coward. I like to play a fucking hero. I like to play someone that'll wrestle you. I like to play someone who's studious and academic. I like to play a big muscle dude. I like to play a skinny, scrawny dude. I like to play somebody with mental derangements. I like to play someone that's very, very sane and in clarity. I like to play, you know, really soft-spoken and intellectual. I like to play people that are smooth as fuck and sexy. I like to play people that are fucking wild and crazy. You know, I likes all of it. So, yeah, I mean, all of them, you know. I really like pretty much any type of archetype you're going to put in front of me, unless it's boring, you know, to me. Like I don't really care much for a military type of character, although one of the better games I ever played is a one-shot session. I played a military character, so I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. Let's see here. I don't dislike it, but I've noticed people get upset with me when I play like a supporting character, because they want me to play either basically in role playing, I'm a character actor that generally gets cast as a lead man, which, you know, those two things aren't really supposed to go together, but that's generally how it happens in games where I play. And if I make a character, I'm trying to be a support character, I'm trying to be in the background, I'm trying to be subtle, I'm trying to, you know, push others over. I've had a lot of game masters literally get like really pissed at me for doing that. They're like, no, you need to carry this, you need to put this up on your shoulders, you know, like I'm gonna atlas it out. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I was trying to feature them and do this. No. I need you in that role. So I don't know if that is any help to that particular question. One system or setting you've never played but want to. I would like to play Savage Worlds. I have a hold of a number of the books. I've yet to play it, so maybe one day I will. I don't know. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with the Ring of Fire, the air system, and I don't know. I don't really have much desire towards playing. When I put together something that's really perfect for my play style, for myself, for my suspension of disbelief, for my entertainment, well, I don't want to play something else. You know, all it's going to be is less than that. Like, but that's probably the one. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, it's gonna be a less than experience, because I'm gonna be like, oh, why am I limited like this? Why can't I this affect as it well should within the Ring of Fire style, as it well should air system style. So I really honestly think any other system that I played would be a bit of a letdown. I played was it Stalker not that long ago, but Matt killed us all before we could really actually get to experience it. I think my character was on the screen a grand total of like 42 minutes, and then we got blown up by me carrying C4, so it was my fault. But George's character got killed too, so aha, you George. So yeah, I'd like to play Stalker again. I don't think that's a system that anyone would want to make their mainstay system because of some aspects of it. But at the same time, it looked very interesting, like what I call like a palate cleanser type game. Oh, I can tell you one. Actually, the Scratch Savage Worlds, Paranoia or Paranoid or whatever the fuck it's called. I heard about that when I was like 15, and I still haven't played it, and I want to play it. And if you're good at running it, and you want to run it on G+, and just hit me up. Just hit me up. Hit me up. Send me a message. Because I will jump in and play it. It's not something that I look for a campaign, but maybe 1 or 2 sessions. Yeah, we could definitely play that. It sounds fun. Sounds silly, but yeah, I'm well up for it. So Paranoia, if you do it, hit me up, let me know, and we'll get that going. Because I have literally wanted to play that for like over 20 years. All right. So if you were to create yourself as a character, what class would it be? 1, 2, 3, scream it loud! Yeah, it's pretty fucking obvious. Barbarian, epic level barbarian. 39 levels of barbarian. Your main man. How the fuck a leader of a barbarian horde not gonna be a barbarian, baby? I'm not an aristocrat. I'm not a blade singer. I'm not a bard. I'm not a vagabond from Rifts. I'm none of these things. I am a barbarian. Meat hooks to the mouth from the south. Now, what's really good? Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty much a gimme right there. Some people gotta think, well, I'm a ranger. What that's about? I'm a motherfucking barbarian, son. And press slam to the sky. Your loved one. What the fuck is up with that? So who are you gonna tag? I have no idea who is involved in this. So let's say Sean Connors. Yeah, let's say my buddy Sean Connors. Let's see what he has to say on all these questions. I think that could be interesting. What about Matt Pritchard? See if your ass gets in there and does some of these questions. I don't know. What about Lou? You could jump in here. I don't know, man. George, would you want to do some of these questions, baby? Andrew Van Rooyen. I mean, I'll just tag a lot of motherfuckers. I know, hot tag. Let them come in a clean house after I did the selling. So there you go. And I'm sure this video is extremely long, and it is, oh my god, almost 40 fucking minutes long. Yeah, well, there you go. You get enough of your main man on this video? Disavowed! Yeah, monkey ass! Okay, so there you go, baby. You said you wanted it. Your main man can't get enough. Well, you're getting enough with goddamn 40 fucking minutes of RPG excellence and enlightenment, and also the lack of that, because there's really nothing to learn from this video. But it was silly. I had a good time. So for those of you who somehow made it this far, I guess you wasted 40 minutes of time. So, ew, buddy.